you're all prepared for a late burst of summer. And it's going to be mid-20s on the weekend, which suits me, but it is a little confusing, isn't it? You know, there's been a few chilly nights, and now it's getting warm again. Let me just find you. Oh, I can't find you. There we are. Okay, so from your seated position, just take a few moments to arrive in this space, allowing the shoulders to soften, closing your eyes if you haven't, just letting the day and the week just subside, just stay in the background. As you bring your awareness into this moment and into this space, start to lengthen the in-breath and lengthen the out-breath. Think about really softening through the shoulders. And perhaps on the in-breath, have a sense of lengthening through the crown of the head, as though the breath were traveling down the channel of the spine. On the out-breath, traveling up through the spine. And just reminding yourself that however challenging or uncomfortable it may be to find stillness and silence, it is one of the greatest gifts you can give to your body and mind. It's in that silence that the body speaks, the mind speaks. So as you head through this new season, just consider any effects on your body, physically, emotionally, energetically. With your eyes still closed, drop your chin and just move into your neck circles. Being mindful of any differences. Being patient with yourself. Remembering there is always the option to add a little bit of intensity, taking one hand across, gently moving that head. So the spine starts right up in the neck, that upper cervical spine. And as you know, travels deep into the lower back or the top of the buttocks. And we're going to do a little progressive work down that spine today. But not before we warm up the core, the central power block of muscles that keep us upright. So bring your chin back to center. Take a long breath, lift the arms. And as you exhale, take hands behind your body. Untangle your legs and give them a little shake. And then bring the legs in so they're just a little wider than hip distance. Knees are bent and holding onto the knees, or you can bring the hands immediately into the ankles. Now, for a lot of people, it might be challenging to straighten up that lower back, and that's fine. Doesn't matter if we start with the curve, but we're just going to play around with that lumbar for a few moments. So inhale and see if you can grip those ankles or the knees and really think about lifting up through the crown of the head. So the spine is straight. You might even have a little bit of a back bend, a little bit of a lumbar curve, and then melt and round. And bring the hands forward. Soften, just move through the head. And just consider where you feel there is the most stiffness here. So in a lot of people, it will be the lumbar region, the lower back. For many, perhaps the upper on the neck, or maybe all of it. Coming back up, bringing hands to knees or to the ankles again, and try that again. So really dropping the shoulders, lifting up as though your sternum is surging forward. And maybe trying to bring that belly forward as well. The spine is super straight. And then melt again, round, softening. Shake the head, a little movement side to side. So with the legs in this higher position, it's a little more challenging because we've got this compromise through the hips. But it can really illustrate where the stiffness is in the spine. Coming back up now, and then taking the soles of the feet together, moving the hips back. We'll do the same thing. So holding onto the ankles or the knees and really lengthening up through the crown of the head, dropping the shoulders. And some of you with relatively flexible spines will be able to bring that lower back in so you have a little bit of extension. And then melt again, rounding, softening. This should be a little more pleasant for those of you whose hips are quite happy to come into this position. Back, shake the head. And then slowly come back. And this time we add on. Bring the hands behind the body. Take the legs in front. You can turn so that the fingers are pointing towards the body. So this might be more comfortable, more stable for some, but if you feel that the shoulders or the wrists are not happy, keep the fingers pointing out. Bend one leg. Inhale, and on the exhale, press into the ground and lift the body up. So this time we really want to think about an anchor point on our belly button, lifting up. A little bit of strength through the shoulders and the arms here. And then melt back down. Let that leg just soften out to the side and reach forward, holding on to wherever is comfortable. Maybe the foot or the shin, just softening. So now we start to increase that stretch, not just through the spine, but through the glutes and the back of the leg. Slowly come back up now. Hands come behind again. Change legs. Bring the other leg in. So that foot is grounded on the mat. Inhale. And on the exhale, lift up. Shoulders back, eye gaze to the ceiling. Keep the neck and the head proud. Doesn't matter how high you go. Pressing strongly into the foot. And then slowly, slowly lower. Same thing, drop that leg out to the side and then reach forward. Take your time, there's no need to pull. Just really softening through the neck and the head. This little sequence is a great sequence. If you wake up a particular morning and you're stiff and you feel that your movement, your walking, your gait is a little stiff or awkward, this is really going to release that posterior chain. And come back, taking the hands behind and lengthening both legs. Now this time you have an option. You can bend both legs, inhale, and on the exhale, lift up into a reverse bridge, or if you want to, you can extend both legs. Inhale, exhale, and lift up into a bridge. So whichever one is good for you, come into that now. That little bit of power through the upper body. Wherever you are, thinking about lifting up through the belly button. And finally, lowering, pushing the hips back now, walking the hands forward, shuffling the hips back and into Paschimottanasana, or seated forward fold. Now with both legs, it's a little more sticky, so feel free to bend the knees. We'll hold this for a few breaths, and I want you on every breath to think about lifting up through the rib cage, bringing the rib cage forward and then lowering. A couple of deeper breaths here, softening. So after this, we're just going to add a little bit of core centric work and flip over into a little bit of back strengthening. So the first part of this practice this morning is a little like a clinic, really, the strengthening clinic. So I apologize if that's not what you need this morning. But after that, then for the last part of the class, we'll do some lovely decompression and some beautiful relaxation. All right, coming back up now, and then just lying back onto the mat. Don't be fooled into thinking you can have a little nap here. Make sure your block is handy. So we've really started to stretch and to warm up through the back of the body. Let's switch the focus to the front of the body. So hands by your sides, and inhale deeply on the exhale, just coming up into a soft bridge. So when you're in your bridge here, relax through the shoulders and the arms. Arms are floppy, pressing down on the big toes. And you'll notice that it's the glutes that are probably squeezing, the bottom, the lower abdominals, and those legs are having to work as well. So we're going to slowly change the focus. Come back down. And before we add on, just hug the right knee in, lengthen the left. You can rotate that right ankle. A little bit of mobility through the joints. And then put the foot down and change. Bring the other leg in, lengthen. What type of week have you had the first week of October for you? Any exciting changes? Anybody pack away their summer clothes only to have to pull them out again this weekend? Take the foot down. All right, grab your block. Now take the block between the knees. Bring the feet in quite close to the bottom. All right, same thing. Inhale, exhale, press the lower back down, peel on up into a bridge position. And now here, squeeze that block about 6 out of 10. So really squeeze into the block. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing. This is going to activate those adductors and then get that psoas motivated to work. Slowly, slowly roll back down. All the way down. Relax the squeeze on the block. Just let it stay there suspended. Hands to the hip crease. Inhale, exhale, slide the hands up. Fingers just peeking off the tops of the knees. And see if you can stay here. Pressing the spine towards the mat. Now, you should really feel that contraction through the abdominals. Holding for one more breath. And then slowly sliding back down. Relaxing, arms down by your sides. We do it again. Inhale, exhale, peel the body up into your bridge. This time I'm going to squeeze the block 7 out of 10. So quite a bit of compression there, squeezing that block. Where do you feel that squeeze in your body? Through the butt, I bet. Deep into the abdominals. Soften the shoulders, soften the arms. Press all of the toes into the mat. And slowly roll back down. Release that pressure on the block. So it's just suspended there. Hands to the hip crease. Inhale. Exhale, slide on up. Fingers just peeking off the top. Now really keep that lower back, the back of the hips pressing into the mat. If your neck is aching, take a hand to the base of the skull and just gently support that neck. It often aches. Now we do want to eventually strengthen those muscles in the back of the neck. Our neck has to work hard to keep our head up all day. So strengthening is good, but it's a catch-22. Sometimes it just aches too much. And slowly roll back down. All right, let's do that one more time. Inhale, exhale, peel the spine up and squeeze now 8 out of 10. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Now, hold that squeeze. You might be thinking now, I really wish I had turned up for yoga this morning. But let me tell you, this is probably the best thing you can do for your body this week. So you're stabilizing the pelvis, strengthening that midline of the body, improving your posture, getting those lazy muscles that often don't work to work. So it's worth it. Slowly, slowly roll back down. And release. So no pressure on the block. Last time, rising, hands to the hip crease. Inhale, exhale, slide on up. Stay there. So in most cases, I'm trying to watch you. I think most of you look comfortable. In most cases, this should be feeling okay. It should be doable. If it's not, if you find that this is not achievable for the third time, then that's a bit of an indicator you need to improve those core muscles. See if you can hold, stay there, keep pressing the lower back into the mat. We're after that deep contraction through the transverse abdominis. Alrighty, slide back down. Relax. Almost done. Give the legs a little shake. And then bring the knees back into the chest, have them in. I can tell you, I don't want to bore you too much with my personal health history, but just take the knees over to one side and release. I think I've mentioned I've had a bit of a backache, quite a bad backache actually, on and off for a couple of months. And so I've seeing a physio, and actually the physio believes that it's due to the trauma and the scar adhesions from the 11-hour abdominal surgery I had just before Christmas. So despite me thinking I know, my body and I know the best way to recover, I've missed a few fundamental steps, and it's bring the knees up and over. And as the physio says to me, the core muscle group, those deep muscles, have to coordinate the rest of the body, and if they're not really finely tuned and strong, then the impact will go to other areas in the body. So, and she tells me every time I see her, if there's one thing you should be doing every week, it's doing some basic core and back strengthening work. So of course we do most of that in yoga, but specific targeted work is really important. And it's preventative. Bring the knees back to center. It's one of those things you can't see it, so you think everything's fine, and then all of a sudden the body tells you it's not. All right, let's do a little specific one and then we turn over. Take the block to the knee and the elbow. You're going to lift that knee and the elbow is going to come towards that knee. So you're just holding this position here. Bring the other arm and leg in to mimic that. So there's an invisible block there. Keep the lower back pressed really strongly into the mat. Inhale. And on the exhale, lengthen arm and leg. Now, it might only go out a little way. It doesn't have to lengthen all the way. This is intense. And bring it back in. So take this in your own time. One option is to drop the heel, just to drop the heel and extend the arm. That is fine in itself. And come back in. We're going to keep repeating this. You don't have to squeeze into the block. You just have to lightly suspend it. Now this one, I did a core stability course a couple of years ago, and this was one of the favorites that came out of that for me. But this one is really good at stabilizing the pelvis and getting deeply into those transverse abdominis. You feel it, don't you? I find it really intense, this one. Always exhaling on the extension. So I think I'm heading to about my 6. I'm going to aim for 10. If you've had enough, you can have a break. Or you might just take the heel down. Okay, take it slowly. Now, if you're not feeling warm by now, there's something wrong, or you're a superhuman. Lengthen arm and leg, pushing the heel away and coming back in. Let's do 2 more. Just watching. Good. A few variations there. No, good, nice. And when you've done your 10, relax. All right, good. Relax, relax. So we'll come to the other side in a minute, but you can just windscreen wipe at those legs. I think that one of all the exercises, that one is a really super powerful, effective one. It's like being in the gym. You know, if you go into the gym, which I'm sure you do on a regular basis, if you do like one of those lat pull downs, or if you're using a barbell, all of that stuff is fantastic, but it's easy to compensate. So that's why free weights are good. So it's easy for your more dominant side to kick in. This exercise shows you, well, it's one left or right, so can't kick in. Let's try the other side now, and then we're going to chill almost. Elbow and leg together. Bring the opposite arm and leg in to mimic that. So you've got this invisible block. Inhale. On the exhale, extend. Bringing it back in. Now again, loads of options. You can just tap that knee down, pushing with the heel. If you are doing this, even with the heel to the heel tap, you will feel this in those lower abdominal muscles. Always connect with the breath. Exhale on the extension, pressing the spine towards the mat. Now, if your spine is lifting, it's an indicator that there is not enough strength there in those abdominals to keep the body aligned. So then you decrease the load. Maybe just tap with the heel. Maybe keep the arm stable, not extending. Exhaling. In. Let's do a couple more. I've got about 4 more. Exhaling. Back in. Keeping that lower back really connected. Amazing. Do your last one. You'll really be wishing right now that you'd chosen just a slow cup of coffee instead of amazing. When you've done your 10, hug those knees in. So those abs will be on fire now. They might not necessarily tell you, but they will be on fire. And then when you're ready, flip over onto all fours. And just come into a little cat and cow to release. Now, what do you notice about cat and cow now? You probably feel really quite warm through that torso. Letting that back mobilize. Melting. Righty, tucking the toes under and coming into your toe squats. And just hanging around in your toe squat. Keep those shoulders back. So if we were to come up to standing, and we will in a moment, you'll probably find that often when you come up to standing in the beginning of the yoga practice, we feel that in our back. But you won't feel that this time because we've really activated that. We're going to just warm up the spine a little, those little erector spino muscles before we come to standing. What's the time? So, oh yeah, I'm doing all right for time. So keep your block handy up to your toe squat. Come down onto your belly. And for a couple of breaths, stack your hands, just wriggle through the hips. If those hips are wriggle, relax and melt. Alrighty, just a couple of little exercises to start to strengthen that back. So the first one is really easy. You're going to lengthen both arms up. The eye gaze will stay down. Now lift right arm, left leg off the floor and then lower. And to the other side, always on the exhale. Inhale, exhale. Left arm, right leg off the floor and lower. So we're going to hold it up for 4 counts. So keep moving in this way. Inhale, exhale, up, 2, 3, 4, and lower. Inhale, exhale, up, 2, 3, 4, and lower. So I'll let you keep working in your own rhythm. Always remember to extend on the exhale. Now, for an extra bit of work here, when your arm and leg is extended, try and relax the opposite arm and leg. That's not as easy as it sounds, but this is really good. This cross-lateral work through the spine is really good for getting into those smaller muscles in the back. Keep moving through this. And perhaps if you want more, you can lift the leg and arm even higher. Now we're almost done, guys. So if at this stage you're thinking, oh, really? Hang on, we're almost done. Let's do 3 more. And after your last one, come into wide knee child's pose and relax. Just melt down. Just chill out. Now, I have one more exercise for the back and the shoulders, but I'm aware that we've done half the practice. So I'll ask you, the choice is another 5 minutes, little back strengthening exercise, or just into a little flow with some twists. So just put your thumbs up if you'd like to do a little more back strengthening. No one else can see you, but it's a yes. Well done. Good choice. Most of you said yes. All right. So this one is particularly good for posture, for realigning the posture. So come back now onto your belly and you'll need your block. So this is quite challenging, and I'll show you a couple of variations. You're going to hold the block in front, lift through the arms, take one block, take the block around behind you, see if you can keep the chest off the mat, and then bring it back all the way and lower. So you can, this is a challenging exercise, there's no doubt about that. So you can modify it by keeping the elbows bent and keeping the movement with bent elbows. So your chest is off the mat, bringing the block around and then lowering. If you want the extra challenge, keep the arms straight. So I won't count you in. I'll just let you do this in your own time. The idea of this one is that you start to recruit the strength through the thoracic spine, the mid spine, the lower back, and get that mobility and strength through the shoulders. It's not easy. So in your own time, always inhale, exhale, lift up. Take it around. Keep the chest high and bring it back all the way and then lower. Every time you go through this, you can change the direction of the block and bringing it back super slowly and down. If it's too much, if it is too much and it's a challenging exercise, you can simply keep the elbows no block. Keep the elbows in this position. Inhale, exhale, lift arms and chest off the mat and lower. Okay, so you're still getting that strength through the spine, but the shoulder mobility is out of it. Good, looking good, guys. Yeah. Not easy, is it? When you lift your head, don't lift your eye gaze. Keep your eye gaze down so that that upper cervical spine doesn't have to work. You will be really feeling this in the lower back. Squeeze those glutes, power those glutes up. Nice. Okay, let's do 2 more rotations. You're finished. You can come into child's pose. It's tough, isn't it, that one? But, you know, our body is a remarkable thing. I think after the age of 32, we lose an incredible amount of muscle mass. And our skeleton cannot hold our body upright until we're 90 without creaking. So we need to build the muscle mass. And all of the exercises we've done this morning have focused on building, strengthening that framework of muscle, particularly through the core and the spine. That's going to add up to a security blanket, a safety net, so we don't become injured or have postural issues or back pain. Oh, it's ringing again as we age. So just enjoy a couple of breaths in your child's pose. And then we're going to have a little flow, just an easy one. Well done for, it's a personal thing, and it's very much a mindset thing when we push our body through challenges. And, sometimes we're just not up for it. Sometimes we are. But it is so rewarding if you can just add a little bit of strength every now and again into your practice. So come now into your down facing dog in your own time. Tuck the toes under. And in your down dog, just take a little stretch through the legs, head, edging those calf muscles a little longer. And then bend the knees and walk the hands back to the feet. From your forward fold, bend the knees a lot, eye gaze forward, palms together, roll up, reach tall. Now, it would be interesting to know, just to set yourself, a lot of the time when we're coming through a practice, when you come up for the first time, you feel, oh, a bit of an ache through the back. I reckon everybody should feel a little more stable there this morning. From Tadasana, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, take arms behind, interlace fingers, press them down and away. And then drop and come into chair pose, just a soft chair. Draw the belly in, arms up, press into those feet, and really zip up from the pubic bone right up to the sternum. Amazing. And then fold, forward fold, shake the head, relax. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, melt. Walk the hands on out now, back to a plank position. From your plank position, just stay there, feeling that strength And then drop the right knee to the mat. Flick the right shin out to the side and come into a side stretch. When you're in that position, bring that left arm up and over, drape it over. Eye gaze up, so beautiful stretch now through that side body. Just slowly roll that arm back down. And with that right knee, just bring it in a little more and come into a pigeon. So we'll stay here for a couple of minutes. You can use your block if you like, and put your forearms on the block. Just starting to release through the hip, stretching now through the glutes. If you want to, you can melt completely. You could even rest your head on the block or on the mat. A couple more breaths here. Slowly come back out of that. Hands to the mat. Tuck the back toes under. And just gently make your way back to down dog. Pedaling out through the feet again. Or perhaps it's good for you now to find stillness. From your down dog, ripple straight into plank. Hold your plank, noticing that strength through the body. And now drop the left knee to the mat. Just flick that left shin off to the edge of the mat. Right arm lifts up, and then the right arm reaches towards the top of the mat. So a beautiful stretch, but also we've got this lovely strengthening position through the arm, through the shoulder. Keep reaching with that arm. Eye gaze up or to the side of the mat. And then slowly bring the hand back. And just bring that left leg in a little higher into a position that's comfortable for your pigeon or swan. Make your way into the pigeon now. What's the time? No sense of time. Relaxing when you're in your optimum position. Remember, you can use a block. Breath out, start to really melt into the mat. Just got a lovely twist after this to really release through the body, so you can start to let go of all effort. after breaths, your own time, you can simply roll onto that left hip, make your way onto your back. And before we do a little supine twist, just lengthen both legs. Arms by your side, just lay here for a few moments. And just notice any sensation. It's really interesting, isn't it, that we can do some really powerful activation of the muscles, as we did in the first part of the practice. Or we can do some passive compression and deep stretch. Both have really significant effects in the body. If you listen, you should be able to feel those effects. And both are equally valid. So bend the knees, bring the knees, hug them into the body. Take a little roll, just a little movement side to side. If you like, before we do our twist, you can come into Happy Baby, Balasana, or Half Happy Baby, just to allow those hips to open a little more. And if you're in Happy Baby, feel free to take the toes, lengthen, straighten the legs, getting that lovely deep stretch through the back of the body. Tuck the knees in and take them over to the right side. Lift the head, look down the left arm. Breathing deeply. Slowly take the eye gaze to the ceiling. Bring the knees back up. Take them through center and to the other side. Lift the head, look down the arm. Just let the body melt into the mat here. Slow, regular breath. Then gently bring the knees back into center. Lengthen the legs. You can come into a soft bridge just to make sure that spine is aligned. And then lengthening the legs. Arms just a little away from your body, palms facing up. And just soften into the mat. Letting go completely. And just considering for a few moments those deep abdominal muscles, the muscles around the spine, the glutes, all of those muscles that we've asked the body to to work those muscles a little more than usual today. How lovely does it feel now to be resting, softening, relaxing into the mat? Breathing in deeply and breathing out fully. Letting the shoulders slip back into the mat. Relaxing the muscles in the face, the forehead, the cheeks, jaw itself. As you breathe, as the breath flows in and out of the body, think about the breath traveling down the channel of the spine, warming, widening through the hips, releasing and traveling back, as though the spine itself were a channel for the breath or the air. So you're bringing life to the spine itself. Noticing that the limbs, the muscles in the arms, the legs are softening, melting. Noticing that the bones of your body are releasing all tension, easing towards the mat, letting gravity just bring the body into a neutral state. Allowing the mind to become clear. Move into your day. Then stay in your relaxing position. If you are moving out into the day, slowly take a stretch. Time, hug the knees into the chest. Coming to seated when you're ready. Your seated position. Bees drifted off to sleep. From your seated position, take a breath, lift your arms. Bring hands through to heart center. Namaste, everyone.